Hello friends and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. This week we are playing another Halloween Spooktober game, and it's Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2, an old NES game. For those of you who watched the previous episode, we are working our way through to capture all of the pieces of Dracula that have been spread throughout the kingdom so that we can defeat him once and for all. Of course, once and for all is only until Castlevania 3. But for right now, in Castlevania 2, we have just completed the first two mansions. We just completed Rover Mansion, and I've backtracked all the way back to the first town that we started the game in, the town of Jova. From here, we are on our way to Brahm's Mansion, which is the third castle we have to complete to get that third piece of Dracula. The Fire Swamp. We all know about the perils of the Fire Swamp. And for this, we're going to save, but we're also going to use our trusty laurels. And that makes short work of the Fire Swamp. Okay, let's save again. So, one thing I want to talk about here, this is the Ferryman, and as I mentioned previously in the last series, if you were watching, we have all these pieces of Dracula that can be used for various things. This is the only purpose that I know of the heart, is that you show it to the Ferryman, and he will take you to the next fortress, instead of taking you to a different location. And make that jump, there we go. And that we just saw was also getting our level up, although I immediately then took a hit. So we are now level 2, finally. Okay, and now we're back at Brahm's Mansion. This is the third mansion, and in here we'll actually find our first mini-boss as well. So let's dive right in. Brahm's Mansion. So I do love the visuals that they do in this game, but it does get a little samey very quick. Also, I don't love these jumping puzzles. I always tend to hit the roof on those spikes, and again, because you have very little control in your jumping, it makes it very, very easy to accidentally fall. Okay. Also have to dodge these knights. Oof. Which, as you can see, these enemies, they've used a palette shift on them, right? So they're purple now instead of blue. And that's just to tell you that the difficulty has gone up a notch. In this case now, all of the enemies are taking 2 hits, which means the timing that we are used to doesn't always work as well anymore. Okay, let's see here. So from here we go back to the left and then back around to the right. Back this way. Now, the puzzles in this game are not especially complicated. Most of them are relatively straightforward. You know, there's a lot of hidden platforms and things like that. You just kind of need to get a feel for what you need to do in any given area. There's certainly a couple of these castles that have some minorly insidious puzzles where you kind of have to think outside the box. I remember one of them, you buy the oak stake actually outside of what appears to be the main castle. You have to like break through a wall, and all of a sudden you're in the like black space that seems to be the margins around it, which is a fascinating design choice that I think is really cool. And some of these enemies, just from the placement, it's just almost impossible to actually dodge where they're going to hit. But we do make liberal use of our sub-weapons here to kind of get us out of some of these tighter spots. And here's another good one. Fighting enemies on stairs. Now again, this is one of the older Castlevanias, so you can't use your whip in all directions. You can only use it in basically two directions, left or right. It wasn't until Castlevania 4, I want to say, for the Super Nintendo, that you could actually use your whip in all of the 8 directions, in addition to spinning it. No, I believe, yes, last game we already bought a wooden stake, so we don't actually need that right now. Oop. A little quick rewind action there. Again, if we can avoid some of these extra hits, I know it's a little cheaty, but worth it. Yeah, we really need to work on getting that Morning Star here pretty quick, or these enemies are going to continue to be a problem. Again, this level isn't especially difficult. It's just tedious having to walk through all of this area, especially when, quite frankly, your character moves so slow. Now, this is a little takeaway that they did in the early Mega Man games, where they have a little passage. And I think in the very first Mega Man game, there's still enemies in the passage, so you can gain some life. But this one, you can go in and out over and over again if you'd like, to continue to get life. Well, not life in this case, hearts for your weapons. Now, here's the first mini-boss, the Grim Reaper. We're actually just going to walk right by him for now. I know that's kind of anticlimactic, but I don't want to deal with him twice, and I'd rather deal with him on the way out than the way in. I can be a little more prepared. First things first, let's go ahead and use our oak stake. Break the crystal. And we have Dracula's eyeball, which will help us significantly. So to deal with the Reaper, I think I'm going to equip my Silver Dagger and see how well we can do on that. We're going to save real quick before we go after him. So the Grim Reaper, or Death as he is also called, appears in most of the Castlevania games in one form or another. And always is a pain to fight. That went surprisingly well. That was my second try though, folks, through the magic of editing. But we also got the Golden Knife on him. The Golden Knife is one of the best daggers in the game, mainly because after it hits an enemy, it also explodes into flame. And that can be extremely useful. And again, picking up some extra hearts there from those bats. And just a little cheaty. If I'm taking a really stupid hit, sometimes I will rewind. And notice how the slimes there glitched through the wall due to the way that this game scrolls. They went all the way through the ceiling, never to appear again. Okay, now we just work our way back up to the top. And again, there's a lot of precision jumping you have to do in this game because, again, the gameplay is so very, very tight, rigid, I guess, I would say. Buy our oak stake for the next castle, just in case. You know, you can jump only exactly 2 blocks. No more, no less. Let's see, does this break down? No, it doesn't. That would be too easy, wouldn't it, if we could just go through there? Okay, save a little bit. So the very, very tight jumping controls mean that, or rigid jumping controls, not necessarily tight, mean that you get yourself into a pickle very quickly. where you can only fall, you can't really do anything more sophisticated to kind of time out where you're going to land. Once you start jumping, that's it. You're stuck. And I don't think I can get through here, can I? No. But I think, yes, can walk through there. Again, lots of secret walls here that are not solid. There we go. Again, slime's pretty much my least favorite enemy in the game. They can, if there's two of them, they can wreck you real quick. I do like if the enemies pause for a second when you hit them, though. That does make this significantly easier. Okay, let's jump. There we go. Usually I hit my head on that, but... Okay, and that does it for Brahm's Mansion. Now, before we go to Bodley Mansion, there's one item I want to pick up here, and it involves going through the worst jumping puzzle in the entire game. So this is probably going to take me about 12 tries, folks. So, yeah, we're gonna see you on the other side, and we're gonna use some heavy cheating of rapid saves to get through this. Okay, doing good so far. Wow. Okay, folks, I think that is the first time I've ever made it through that section in the first go. That is a record for me. Of course, but the eagles then get me. We're just going to save here real quick, because they might kill me on the way back. And now we're also seeing the first appearance of the Gorgon heads, which are the most infuriating enemy in Castlevania. I think anybody who's played any of the later games knows, like, they're always there, particularly in those clockwork levels. And here's the secret item that I wanted, the diamond. And that gives us another sub-weapon. And you'll see, it just bounces off stuff, including the edge of the screen. That makes it rather nice for our purposes. Save our game, head our way back. Anyways, the Gorgons, oh my god. They're always there whenever you're about to make some sort of critically timed jump just to ruin your day. It's like they know, right? There'll be a giant gear turning, and that sound, it just awakens them somehow. Oh. This area is especially frustrating, mainly because of the vast number of enemies that they throw at you all at once there. It's just kind of unnecessary. Alright, back across the platforms. Can we do it in our first go this time? I don't think so, but we'll try. We absolutely cannot. Timing is everything, y'all. Always jump when they're up. Oof, glitched through that one. All right, second try. Not bad, not bad. We'll take it, we'll take it. Okay, so from Brahm's Mansion, our next target is Bodley Mansion. That's a little bit of a hike from here. And we need to get a few items along the way, but hopefully we can make short work of this trip. Just finish off a few baddies there. Okay, so note that the heart is not equipped, so this time, with any luck, instead of jumping off here, we just ride it back, the ferry, and it'll take us to a different location than where we started. And that location is instead Alba, the next town that we need to visit. Now, the first thing we need to do here is talk to this dude, who will trade our blue crystal for our red crystal. We're pretty low on life too, so we should probably go ahead and find the church and get that taken care of. Okay, we've gone to the church, we've topped our life off. On our way to Bodley Mansion, there's one stop that we need to make along the way, and that is to pick up the silk bag. So we just make our way along this passage. Oh, I forgot about those guys. With the claw that they stick out. So we take the second path down here. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, there's a lot of hidden blocks here, designed to catch you up. There we go. Now, holy water is not super effective against these, obviously, the grasping hands, but it is free, so I guess I can hit it. Yeah, I can crouch into these. But the hand, it would go over it. But here, yeah, easiest way to deal with these. Okay, make our way through here, deal with the slimes. Through the cemetery. Whoop. Oh, the slimes. Can't stand the slimes. Especially when they come flying out of nowhere. Whoop, that's the diamond. That's not what we want. We want the garlic. There we go. Okay, and that gives us the silk bag. That is a pretty good trade just for some garlic. It allows us to hold a lot more garlic and laurels, which is going to come in super handy here in the near future. Oh, and I need that morning star. Even the slimes are super dangerous now. Oh, yeah, see, I'm getting taken apart pretty quickly here. That's a lot of life to lose. And a cursed knight as well. Oh, well, the hits not stop coming. They don't stop coming. Okay, so what do? We fast forward through the horrible night. There we go. Although I will say one thing that is really neat about the horrible night is that they do that little palette shift. Which I think is just a nice little addition, right? They didn't have to do that and make it so that the colors switched, from day to night like that as part of it. But I just think it adds so much character to just go from day to night like that. Okay, now there's no way I'm going to be able to do this without taking a hit. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, I figured as much. so we make our way back to the left here, and I believe the next town is just around the corner. I also recall that there's a bunch of slimes waiting for us in this next screen, so we're going to take a couple of tries at this. There we go. We are super low on life, so we're going to have to be very careful here. Alright, we made it to the next town. Okay, so we've made it to the next town. This is the town of Ondel. In Ondel, we're going to need a couple of things. First and foremost, we're going to walk over to get the Morning Star, which is the fourth whip that we can get in this game. As I recall, I think it's up here. So this will increase our power again. That's going to make the enemies a little easier here going forward. So we definitely want to make sure we do this. Morningstar, buy one? Yeah, we'll buy one. There we go. I notice it gives us just a little more reach. No, we already have one. Thank you, sir. It's interesting, though, you know, I mean, I literally just bought one from you. You're asking if I want to buy one again, which again is a adaptation that we saw used in later things like Amazon. You know, just bought one Morningstar. Of course, you need 6, 7, 12 more. Let's just invest in all the Morningstars at this point. The other thing we're going to buy in this town, and I think we have enough hearts to do it, is some more laurels. We're going to need a lot, as I recall, to get to either the next mansion or the mansion after. And you have to go through a couple of screens to get here. Yes. And there we only have 2. That's not a lot, but we're going to buy what we can. Again, you can only hold 250 hearts, so it's not like we have a lot of choice in the matter. Okay, so from there, we go back to the left, and we can head out of town now. Now I do note that there is not any church in that town, which makes it somewhat problematic. But this graveyard is actually a fantastic place to stock up on hearts. So maybe we just take a quick break to build up our reserves and buy all of the laurels. Let's do that real fast. Okay, we have finished grinding out those hearts and bought all the laurels, and then I went ahead and finished out and topped up to 256 hearts again, because we're certainly going to need them. During that time, because these mummies are such great sources of whole hearts, which give you both 6 hearts and also 5 experience each, we've actually gained 2 levels, so our health is starting to look quite impressive. You can only get up to level 6 in this game, so, you know, we're making our progress really quick here. So yeah, those big hearts give you a lot of experience. Very, very worth it. Now we have yet another jumping puzzle. Our favorite type of puzzle, right? There we go. And we made it on the first try, good. And now we've come to Deborah Cliff. Again, this is one of those puzzles that takes forever. If you didn't have a subscription to Nintendo Power, I feel bad for you, because there's no way you're ever going to figure this out. But if you kneel here for long enough, eventually this little tornado comes, takes you over the cliff, which I guess that's supposed to indicate, and drops you right at the front door of the next mansion. Okay, so here we are at Bodley Mansion. Now, Bodley Mansion is relatively straightforward since we bought our stake already. That means we can skip a large section of this level. We still are going to have to go through a little bit of puzzling here, but this level has a lot of hidden walls like the one I just walked through, which makes this significantly easier. It also has a significant number of breakable walls. Now, if we didn't break these, we would be hitting our head on the spikes above and dying immediately, which is less than ideal. And again, you can't even control the height of your jump. You press the button and you get that height, no matter how long you hold it for. So that can be very, very frustrating for most players. So if we hadn't got the oak stake previously, we would have to be traipsing up and around to the left of this castle instead of just kind of the straightforward jaunt we're making right now to go buy the oak stake. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the level where the gypsy that sells the oak stake is actually outside of the visible play area. They're up there above, walking around on top of the roof, so you actually have to go through the walls together. It's a really neat effect, but again, we don't have to deal with it today. Instead, we just grab up our piece. And there we have it, Dracula's nail. Easy enough. Switch back to our dagger for now. Save. And we just make our way right back out the way we came. And again, just, you know, the textures here are really nice. You know, they're doing, as I said in the previous episode, a lot with a little. They're varying up the backgrounds a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough to make it look pieced together in a way that I think is visually interesting myself. I believe we can take the top path here to get back out. And again, thanks to the developers for letting us skip a jumping puzzle here. Certainly appreciate that. And that's it for this mansion. Again, really easy and straightforward if you bought the oak stake in the previous level. Okay, and that brings us back outside. So having completed this, the fourth castle, I think this is also a good place to end this episode of Enterprise Architecture. You know, we went through the Castle 3 and 4, we just beat Bodley Mansion. We now have 4 out of 5 of Dracula's pieces. We now have the nail and the eyeball, and all that's left is to go get Dracula's ring and the cross, and then we can gain access to Dracula's palace. So, join us here next time on Enterprise Architecture, where we go and get those last few remaining items, and if we're real lucky, maybe take on the king of vampires himself, Dracula. So, thanks again for joining us on Enterprise Architecture, and we'll see you here next time. Bye, friends.
Bert!